Your rebirth begins right now. Countless men contact me after watching my content, sharing something that touches me deeply. Dr. Oliver Grant, I had forgotten I could still experience this. I thought that dimension of my being had disappeared permanently. Each testimony like this reminds me of my purpose. Masculinity doesn't vanish. It simply falls asleep in silence, and it has the power to awaken again. When a man recovers genuine restorative sleep, his organism reactivates testosterone synthesis with the same biological precision as decades before. We're not talking about turning back the clock, but about reestablishing the connection with biological processes that remain intact within you. Reflect for a moment. Your heart retains its capacity to beat vigorously. Your muscularity hasn't lost its ability to respond. Your brain maintains its faculty to generate dopamine, confidence, and desire. They only required the appropriate conditions to manifest. And that optimal context begins with something as elementary as deep nighttime rest, a well-nourished organism, and a psyche in balance. That's where true healing resides. That's what I call nighttime nutrition, a synthesis between scientific knowledge, self-discipline, and self-care. I've witnessed extraordinary transformations, men who abandoned sleeping pills, who rediscovered the joy of walking with vigor, who returned to embracing their partner with passion and affection. Most valuable is that they achieved it without fear, without guilt, and without hiding their lived years. Because age, gentlemen, doesn't represent a barrier. It's a narrative you honor when you choose to continue writing it. If after hearing this you perceive within yourself a slight spark of inspiration, don't ignore it. It's your organism communicating with you, that internal voice saying, I still have vitality. I still possess the capacity to change. I can still evolve. So, this very night, do something different. Disconnect your devices. Inhale deeply. Prepare your glass of warm water with your nighttime combination. Sit briefly in stillness and give thanks, because from this precise moment, each night will represent an opportunity to be reborn. Your organism hasn't let you down. It's simply been waiting for you to attend to it, to protect it, to restore its balance. And now you know the way. So rest peacefully. Allow science to operate while you rest. Every cell, every blood vessel, every tissue of your body knows its function. You only need to trust and maintain persistence. Remember, virility isn't excessive force. It's synchrony between body, mind, and rest. And when these three dimensions realign, no age can stop you. I'm Dr. Oliver Grant, and my purpose is to remind you that aging doesn't signal the end of your potential, but the beginning of your bodily intelligence. Share this message with whoever needs it, because when a man awakens, rested, with energy and hope, he inspires those around him. And now yes, tonight, while the world sleeps, your body will initiate its authentic recovery. Because testosterone isn't acquired, it's cultivated, protected, and awakened night after night.
The silent deficiency sabotaging your regeneration. Gentlemen, listen carefully, because what I'm about to explain can represent a turning point in your well-being. Past age 60, numerous men begin to perceive transformations. Sleep becomes superficial, the organism takes longer to recover, desire declines, and energy seems to evaporate gradually. Most assume this forms part of natural aging, but they're mistaken. The reality is that there exists an invisible deficiency that's sabotaging your body's regeneration each night: magnesium deficiency. This mineral, which rarely receives the recognition it deserves, constitutes one of the fundamental pillars for men's health. Without magnesium, the organism doesn't achieve complete relaxation. The brain doesn't reach the deep stages of rest, and testosterone, the hormone that represents your vitality, your desire, and your vigor, isn't released adequately. During youth, the organism accumulates vast magnesium reserves in muscles and tissues, but with the passage of years, those reserves gradually deplete. After 50, intestinal absorption of magnesium can reduce by up to 40%. Even consuming vegetables, nuts, or legumes, your body utilizes barely a minimal fraction. The result is devastating. You sleep, but you don't rest. I've heard the same account repeatedly in my medical practice. Men who confide in me, "Dr. Grant, I go to bed exhausted and wake up the same. I sleep 8 hours, but I feel drained. I no longer have motivation or energy." When we analyze their lifestyle, we inevitably find the same common denominator: magnesium insufficiency. This deficiency maintains the organism in perpetual tension, as if it could never fully disconnect. During the night, the nervous system should enter calmness to facilitate testosterone production, muscular restoration, and cellular regeneration. But when sufficient magnesium is lacking, that process simply doesn't happen. Let me explain something fascinating. While you experience deep sleep, the blood vessels of the penis dilate naturally to oxygenate the tissues and stimulate circulation. That's the cause of nocturnal and morning erections. They're indicators that your organism is functioning correctly, that testosterone is circulating, and the arteries are healthy. When that response disappears, it doesn't mean you aged. It means your organism lost the internal balance that permits that reaction. And here enters magnesium. Not just any type, but the forms that genuinely reach the nervous and muscular system: magnesium glycinate and magnesium threonate. Magnesium glycinate possesses a powerful relaxing effect. It reduces cramps, optimizes circulation toward the sexual organs, and pacifies nerve impulses. It's ideal for those who wake multiple times per night or experience muscular rigidity. Magnesium threonate, on the other hand, acts directly in the brain. It helps silence mental noise, reduce nocturnal anxiety, and reach the deep phases of sleep where more testosterone is released. Both operate in conjunction, and that's why I call them the nighttime nutrition of the contemporary man. Not because they're miraculous, but because they restore what age and stress have altered. I remember Julian's case, a retired engineer aged 69. He arrived at my consultation frustrated because, in his words, he no longer recognized himself. He slept poorly, felt irritable, and had no desire whatsoever. I proposed he begin with magnesium glycinate, 200 milligrams before sleeping, accompanied by a chamomile infusion. Just 1 week later, he wrote me a message I won't forget. "Dr. Grant, I sleep like I did 20 years ago. And not only that, I feel my body has awakened again." That's the magic of returning to the organism what it needs. Magnesium doesn't rejuvenate, it reconnects. It helps your body return to producing testosterone naturally, without chemicals or artificial stimulants. And the best part is that the effects transcend virility. It also improves memory, reduces anxiety, and regulates blood pressure. I reiterate, sleeping isn't resting. Resting means permitting your organism to repair, regenerate, and awaken the next day with renewed energy. Magnesium is responsible for opening that door each night. When you take it correctly, the body remembers how to do it by itself.
The perfect symphony: magnesium, zinc, and vitamin B6. Gentlemen, now that we understand the essential role of magnesium in masculine organism regeneration, it's time to go further. Magnesium is the base, certainly, but it doesn't work alone. For natural testosterone production to remain active during the night, the body needs a perfect biochemical alliance: magnesium, zinc, and vitamin B6. 3 simple elements that, when correctly combined, restore the internal power of the mature man. I want you to imagine your body as an orchestra. Magnesium is the conductor who marks the rhythm and commands silence. Zinc is the principal instrument that generates the melody of virility. And vitamin B6 is the musical score that ensures each note arrives on time and in harmony. Without one of them, the music is interrupted. And that, gentlemen, is exactly what occurs in the organism of many men after 60. During the night, your body should release testosterone cyclically. This hormone not only determines your desire, it also regulates muscle mass, mood, and mental clarity.
But if key minerals are lacking, that cycle breaks. Sleep becomes superficial, and the glands stop producing at the correct rhythm. That's why increasingly more men report fatigue, lack of desire, and a sensation of internal dimming. It's not age, it's the lack of nocturnal hormonal synchrony. Let's see how each element works. Magnesium, responsible for calming the nervous system and relaxing the muscles. It permits the brain to enter deep phases of sleep, those where testosterone is released naturally. Without magnesium, you sleep, but your body doesn't truly rest. Zinc. This mineral is the true builder of testosterone. Without zinc, the Leydig cells, located in the testicles, cannot manufacture sufficient masculine hormone. It also strengthens the immune system and protects the prostate from inflammation. Additionally, zinc helps maintain desire balance, avoiding mood drops and sexual fatigue. Vitamin B6. It's the piece that permits the other two to function together. Without B6, the body doesn't manage to absorb magnesium or zinc well. Furthermore, it regulates dopamine and serotonin, the neurotransmitters of well-being and motivation. That's why when you take this combination, not only does your virility improve, but also your mood and concentration.
The question many ask me is, Doctor, how and when should I take them? The perfect moment is at night, between 30 and 60 minutes before going to bed. Take it with warm water or with a relaxing infusion like chamomile. Never take it in the morning because magnesium has a calming effect, not a stimulating one. During the day, what you want is energy. At night, rest. As for dosage, the most effective and safe combination for men over 60 is magnesium glycinate or threonate, 200 to 400 milligrams. Zinc, 15 milligrams. Vitamin B6, 10 milligrams.
That formula works like a nocturnal symphony. First, magnesium relaxes the muscles and mind. Then, zinc activates hormonal production. And finally, vitamin B6 coordinates and enhances the effects, ensuring your body takes advantage of each hour of sleep. I remember Ramiro's case, a 70-year-old man who had gone more than a decade without sleeping well. He told me he woke 3 times per night and no longer felt desires or motivation. I recommended this combination with a warning. He had to be consistent. 2 weeks later, he returned with a smile. Dr. Grant, I sleep 6 hours without interruptions. For the first time in years, I feel energized in the morning. My wife tells me I've returned to being the man I was. That's not a miracle. It's nature doing its work once you give it what it needs. The masculine body, even at 70, has an immense capacity for regeneration, but it needs the adequate environment, nutrients, rest, and consistency. This formula not only improves sleep and testosterone, it also regulates blood pressure, improves circulation, strengthens memory, and reduces irritability. That's why I call it the masculine rebirth formula, because it transforms the man from within while he sleeps. And I assure you, if you're consistent for 14 consecutive nights, you'll notice changes you didn't believe possible. You'll sleep deeply, you'll wake with energy, and you'll feel how vitality returns effortlessly, without stimulant pills and without risks. The 3 errors that ruin your regeneration. Gentlemen, if you've gotten this far, you already know that the key to vitality after 60 isn't in miraculous drugs, but in deep rest and correct body nutrition. However, there's something I must warn you about with absolute frankness. I've seen many men lose the results of weeks of consistency by committing simple but devastating errors. Today, I'm going to reveal the 3 most common ones, those that block hormonal regeneration even when taking the perfect formula.
Error 1. Taking the supplement at the wrong time. The first error is the most frequent and, at the same time, the easiest to correct. Many men take magnesium and zinc in the morning thinking it will fill them with energy, but the opposite occurs. Magnesium has a relaxing and neurosedative effect, ideal for inducing deep sleep, not for starting the day.
By ingesting it early, what you achieve is a state of light drowsiness, and worse still, you break the natural synchrony of your hormones. The body has an internal clock, the so-called circadian rhythm. During the day, cortisol predominates, the hormone that keeps you awake. During the night, the body reduces cortisol and increases melatonin and testosterone. If you take magnesium and zinc in the morning, you alter this balance, and when night arrives, your body no longer understands it's time to rest. The solution: always take it between 30 and 60 minutes before sleeping. Do it in a calm environment, with dim or natural lights, accompanied by a glass of warm water or a chamomile infusion. Don't use your mobile phone, don't watch television. Give your brain the most powerful message that exists. It's time to regenerate. Error 2. Using the wrong type of magnesium. This is a technical error, but absolutely crucial. 90% of older men who come to my consultation have bought magnesium oxide because it's cheap and easy to get. The problem is that its absorption is minimal, and moreover, it can cause intestinal discomfort. That's why after a few days, many abandon the treatment saying, "This doesn't work." It's not that it doesn't work, it's that they chose the wrong form. The masculine body needs highly bioavailable magnesiums, that is, ones that reach where they should. Magnesium glycinate acts on the muscles and circulatory system, relaxing blood vessels and improving flow toward the sexual organs. Magnesium threonate crosses the brain barrier and improves concentration, calmness, and sleep depth. The solution: avoid magnesium oxide and generic supplements. Look for glycinate or threonate and take it continuously. The body needs several days of regular use to reach optimal absorption levels.
Error 3. Lack of consistency and nocturnal discipline. This is the most common and most detrimental. Many men begin enthusiastically, notice a slight improvement, and then forget to take the supplement. Sometimes they interrupt it during the weekend or combine it with alcohol, which neutralizes its effects. And then they wonder why the results disappear. Magnesium, zinc, and vitamin B6 aren't instant stimulants, but nutrients that restore levels progressively. Your body needs between 10 and 14 consecutive nights to balance and allow deep sleep to reactivate testosterone. If you interrupt the process, everything restarts from zero. The solution: convert your nighttime supplementation into a ritual. Make that moment something sacred, a cup of infusion, deep breathing in silence. Each night you repeat it, your brain associates that ritual with repair and calm. This way, you create positive conditioning that enhances the biological effect of the supplement.
Other errors you must avoid. There are small details that can make a big difference. 1. Eating late or too much. If you eat just before sleeping, your body focuses on digestion and not on regenerating. Eat at least 2 or 3 hours before and choose light. 2. Using your mobile phone or looking at bright screens. Blue light blocks melatonin production. If your brain doesn't release melatonin, your body doesn't release testosterone. 3. Drinking alcohol before sleeping. Alcohol can help you fall asleep faster, but it destroys the deep phases of rest. It's a silent enemy of your virility. 4. Expectations without patience. This is a biological process, not a quick trick. The body rebuilds itself night after night. Results arrive gradually and remain longer. The discipline that transforms. I've had patients who didn't miss a single night in 30 days. The change was so notable that some told me, "Dr. Grant, I feel my body has rejuvenated 10 years." It's not an exaggeration. When deep sleep returns, the entire body responds. Muscles regain tone, the mind clears, blood pressure regulates, and desire is reborn. So remember this. It's not just about taking a supplement, but about creating an environment of real rest. It's not about fighting against age, but about reconciling with your natural rhythm.
The masculine rebirth. What happens after 2 weeks? Gentlemen, we arrive at the most important point.
After years of attending to men over 60, I've verified time and again that the masculine body doesn't age the way we've been made to believe. The true problem isn't age, but forgetfulness. The body forgets how to rest, how to produce testosterone, and how to regenerate. But the good news is it can remember. And when it does, something occurs that I call the masculine rebirth. After 2 weeks of correctly applying the routine, magnesium glycinate or threonate, zinc, and vitamin B6 before sleeping, the body begins to change from the first cell to the mind. Sleep stops being a struggle and becomes a source of silent energy. Men who previously woke 3 or 4 times per night now sleep deeply, and upon opening their eyes they feel something they believed lost, real vitality. First week, subtle but noticeable signals. The change is subtle but perceptible. The body relaxes faster, legs stop having cramps, the mind calms, and morning erections begin to reappear. Even if slightly, it's the signal that your organism is returning to producing testosterone at the adequate moment, during deep sleep, precisely when the body needs it most. Second week, the impact multiplies. Many men tell me, "Dr. Grant, I wake with energy, without heaviness, I feel mental clarity, and even my mood has changed. My wife tells me I have a different look, that I've returned to smiling." And it's not just about hormones, but about vital energy. When the body truly rests, the brain releases dopamine and serotonin in balance. Dopamine returns motivation, concentration, desire. Serotonin contributes serenity, patience, and joy. That internal balance transforms not only virility, but also character. The man who sleeps well doesn't react with irritation, doesn't feel defeated. He feels centered, strong, and secure.
Third week, the inflection point. Metabolism readjusts, circulation improves, and body inflammation begins to diminish. The prostate decompresses, blood pressure stabilizes, and breathing becomes deeper and more fluid. Muscles that previously felt heavy or weak regain tone and firmness. And most importantly, the mind reconciles with the body. I've seen many men transform in a matter of weeks. I remember Eduardo's case, 73 years old. He had been taking sleeping pills for years and said he felt empty, without desire, and without energy. He began this protocol with skepticism, but was consistent. After 21 consecutive nights, he called me emotionally. "Dr. Grant, I haven't slept like this in years. I wake rested, I walk without fatigue, and I've returned to feeling like a man." That's what happens when the body receives what it always needed: rest and nighttime nutrition. The true fountain of youth. It's not about reversing time, but about using the night as a laboratory of natural repair. While you sleep, your blood vessels expand, your cells regenerate, your brain eliminates toxins, and your heart works with less effort.
That's the true fountain of youth. I want you to engrave this in your mind. Your body isn't broken. It's waiting for you to listen to it. Testosterone isn't bought at a pharmacy. It's cultivated with habits, consistency, and respect for rest. Each night you sleep deeply is an investment in your virility, in your energy, and in your well-being. Therefore, tonight, when you turn off the lights, breathe deeply and remember, your body knows what it has to do. Let magnesium relax your muscles, let zinc activate your glands, and let vitamin B6 coordinate that silent process of repair. Upon waking, you'll feel the difference. And when someone tells you, at your age, that's no longer possible, smile, because you'll know the truth. Yes, it is possible. Potency isn't lost, it sleeps. And this time, thanks to your discipline, you're learning to awaken it. I'm Dr. Oliver Grant, and my mission is to remind you that virility has no age. It has balance. If this message resonated with you, share it with another man who deserves to recover his energy, his confidence, and his rest. Subscribe to this channel and join me each week to discover how to care for your masculine health naturally, without fear and without taboos. Because your story doesn't end at 60. Your story can be reborn this very night. At the exact moment
You decide to take care of yourself.